On MorningLine, our final segment this morning with Derrick Rhol. He's from Adventure Science Center. Busiest time maybe in the history of this center.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
No,
This museum is as busy as it can possibly be, which is fantastic. And you know what I like about people like you is I can genuinely feel your enthusiasm.
Good.
And I got to be honest with you. I thought Eclipse, cool. I mean, I know some people and I understand it, but I was not exactly okay. It's gonna be neat. I'll observe it, but I'm not over the top. I got to tell you, if I was living in Nevada or something, I wouldn't drive all the way to see the totality. Not that big a deal in my mind that way. And I understand for a lot of other people it is, and I don't begrudge you it. But now, as we're getting closer and talking to you and feeling the enthusiasm, you know what, I think I would make that drive. I'm really stoked that Nashville and where we live is going to be in the middle of totality.
Well, and after you see it, you might become what we call an eclipse chaser. So a lot of people see this and are so swept away that they will go to any length around the world, even chartering a cruise in the middle of the ocean just to follow where that shadow goes.
By the way, I heard some airlines have actually had airline flights scheduled purposely to coincide with this for people to buy tickets. Will those folks have any significantly better view, perhaps, than we would seeing it from the air?
So the one advantage of seeing it from the air is that you would be able to
be above the cloud cover.
Above the clouds, which is cool. You can actually see the clouds, or see the shadow across the clouds. Which
then that'd be neat. Plus, if you have the glasses and you're able to get the angle to be able to see it, because let's face it, if there's a cloud cover, we'll experience the darkness, but we're not going to be able to see the things we were describing in those photos.
And one word of caution on those flights, if you do a flight in the middle of the day, the eclipse is going to be above the plane and the windows don't look that way.
And that's a great point. Well, a lot of people are like, Nick, wow, you're going to be in Sky 5 that day. That's cool. I mean, the cameras at the bottom of the helicopter, we're not going to get any great shots. We're going to go up in Sky 5 to pay attention to what's happening on the ground.
Yes.
Okay, so everything changes along those lines. Let's go to Steve. Steve, good morning. Hello, Steve.
Nick?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Hey, listen, I got a comment to make first because you guys already answered one of my questions, but I do have a question. But my comment is, when I was younger, I was watching someone weld without welding glasses on my head, and to put a point out there to people, it doesn't burn to watch it then, but your eyeballs really burn really bad later on that day, and I learned a very valuable lesson then.
Yeah.
But my question is, when it's at totality, if there's a solar flare or an explosion on the sun, will we be able to see it?
If the sun is really active, we could.
Oh, really?
If it's really active, we could just around the limb. But we're about a year away from the lowest point in the sun's activity cycle, if you will. It takes about 11 years, and we're almost at the most boring point.
Okay.
Now,
that's interesting. If there was some unusual phenomenon that we weren't, because let's face it takes light a long time to travel to us from the sun, right?
About 8 minutes, yeah.
Oh, is that all? Okay, well,
it's pretty quick.
So I was just saying, if there's some crazy solar flare and the sun can be unpredictable, we would see it.
If it were just on the limb of the sun, just around the edge of that disk, you could see some red points. So if you see some red toward the center, with a lot closer than that white atmosphere, you might be able to.
Very cool. Let's go to Ruby. Hi, Ruby.
Hello.
Hey, go ahead, Ruby.
Yes, I was calling about some pictures that I have taken, and I had a Polaroid camera. And I just put that Polaroid camera. I didn't look at it. The sun in about when the eclipse was, and I took a picture of it. Well, it was real bright then, but I didn't look. I just put my camera up that way.
Sure.
And then I moved my camera again, and I got another pose of the sun. And then I looked at that, and I had another pose. So I got 6 poses of the sun each time it moved. And it's really, people, I showed it to the pictures, they just don't know what to think about me taking them pictures, but I wasn't looking at all.
I believe you, and you have no problems with your eyes, right? You're A-okay.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't look. I didn't look up. I just held the camera up. I never did look up.
Yeah. Okay, well, good.
And a quick note about the eyes, actually, from the previous question, even with the welding, that's a great thing to bring up. You won't feel it right then; you'll feel it later. Think about sunburn, right? Sunburn doesn't feel bad right when you're outside. You'll feel it that night, though.
Yeah.
So just imagine that happening to your eyes, and don't look at the sun.
But unlike your skin, which can peel, and typically, you tan and you recover. The burn on the retina is permanent in most cases. It's not always, but most cases, depending on how much exposure you end up having. Let's go to Bob. He's waited for a while. Hi, Bob.
Oh, how are we doing?
Good. Good to hear from you, Bob.
I was saying that some of the meetings that are going to happen if the sun comes through, to have the pinhole thing and we can watch so you don't have to look at the sun all the time. And the other stuff, they're going to be measuring temperatures. And sometimes with the sun, I've used a prism to study the color variations.
Will you see color variations in the, once it's covered, will there be, yeah, I know what he's saying, maybe the light breaking up into rainbow-like colors or something?
Not in the sky, but if you put the sun's light, so the sun gives us a whole spectrum of light, so anytime you put the sun's light through a prism, you will be able to break it up and get a variety of colors.
Okay.
So yeah.
And he's right, there's a lot of businesses that are going to be taking time off in the afternoon just for that hour on an extended lunch break or something. By the way, just for folks to know, there are also lunar eclipses.
There are.
Talk about the difference there and whether or not lunar eclipses are something you can safely look at.
So yeah, lunar eclipses are at the opposite time of the month, if you will. You imagine you can be the sun, this is the earth, and the moon's going around. And so you've got the solar eclipse coming, where we here in Nashville fall in the shadow. A lunar eclipse is when the moon falls in the Earth's shadow, and Earth's shadow is way, way bigger than the moon's shadow, so the entire moon can fit inside it, and everyone on the dark side of the Earth can see that red moon.
Can see the red moon.
So that's probably why, as humans, we feel like those lunar eclipses are more common, because we've generally probably seen more of them.
And again, they're not. You can look at a lunar eclipse.
You can.
Unlike solar eclipses are the ones that can be dangerous. But lunar eclipses, no.
Lunar eclipses, yeah, they're completely safe, so that's a good thing for us.
Throw that, and by the way, we have someone else calling, and no question, and I understand questions coming like this. Someone was, is it safe to watch the eclipse on TV? Okay, you're like, well, yes, it is safe to. But I don't blame you for asking that question. And with our cameras and the way we're going to be setting up a telescope as well to get great shots. NASA is going to be streaming it live. There'll be some. You can watch it off your TV screen or things like that. It's perfectly safe. It's the naked eye looking at the sky. That's the bottom line, right?
You just don't want to see that surface of the sun with the naked eye. That's why these glasses are a big deal. Glasses, of course, have become a hot commodity here in Nashville, a little bit hard to get. We do have good news at the Science Center. Yesterday, we got confirmation that we will be getting 10,000 more pairs in stock.
That's great. When, how much, and how do people go about getting them?
They are shipping to us right now. We are waiting so anxiously. It's like Christmas for us. We'll be having them on sale on Saturday. Saturday is the start of our 3-day festival.
Talk about
so they'll be $2 if you want to come get those from us on Saturday. A couple of other options, though. If you want to buy a ticket and come inside at the festival, we'll make sure we set a pair aside for you. So everyone who comes inside on Saturday or Sunday will get a pair of glasses. We've still got those tickets available. Or if you want to do a little bit of good for the community, we've got plenty of volunteer spots available. And so you could actually volunteer with us on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. No matter which day you volunteer, we'll make sure you get a pair of glasses and a pretty stylish t-shirt, too.
That's pretty cool. And how much are they?
They'll be $2.
$2, okay, yeah, which is great. And you know what I liked about what you said before is this is something you're just going to hang on to. It's like a souvenir from this event, is it not? When you get a pair of these glasses, you're going to use it that day, and you'll never probably use them again, right?
That's I mean, if you want to hang on to them, we've got a partial coming our way in 2024, so that's one possibility for you.
But all right, so there will be some glasses available, and as far as we know, of course, the ones you'll be getting will be the safe variety. There have been some other places that had to recall them because there were some that are out there. Just be careful where you go to get them, all right? Some guy on the streets comes up to you and goes, hey, I got some glasses here in my overcoat.
Well, yeah, and a quick note on that. Yeah, we're not ordering through Amazon or anything funny like that. Some people we saw put our glasses that they bought from us for $2 on Craigslist for $60 yesterday. Don't bother. We got 10,000 more coming your way. So
yeah, please. Just you don't have to go on and get it from. Yeah, and then there are $2. If someone's scalping these glasses, that makes me mad. But hey, it's the American way, right?
We'll look forward to their huge donation to the Science Center.
That would be nice. Here in the past, during partial solar eclipse, Dana says, I actually watched it on the floor of my home where I didn't have to look up in the sun. I could see the shadow of the moon crossing the sun along the floor of her home. Just maybe I guess she has a skylight.
She probably had or maybe had a tree or something outside to get all those the crescent sun projected.
And what a cool way to watch it there. Yeah. I think that's awesome. You could have the TV on at the same time if you actually wanted to see that. So, all right, as we start wrapping this up, what else do you think is important to touch on? I mean, we've really given a good primer here, but Anything else to remind folks? Again, let's tell them when the process begins for us in our area.
Yeah, so 11:58 a.m., that's when the first partial phase begins. So that's the moon coming in to block the surface of the sun. Takes about 90 minutes to move across the surface. At 1:27, it'll be a total eclipse, so you won't see the surface of the sun at all.
That's when you can look with the naked eye without protection during
That's
the
exactly
totality.
right.
That's only for 2 minutes.
Only for, up to 2 minutes in Nashville.
Yeah.
Not even, but you go down to Franklin, you won't have a total eclipse. I mean, it's really, it's a
Put the map up again
line,
if you would, Mary, if you get a chance. And then after the totality, by the way, and we'll talk about the map in a second here, but after the totality, it goes to about 254, right? And then we'll be back, back to normal.
Yeah, from about 129 to 254, that's the moon sliding out of the way, uncovering the sun, so that you can see that.
And again, just to emphasize, and this is confusing, it was even confusing to me, and I've done some stories on this. You see the map up there, that strip going down through the middle of the country from Oregon all the way coming out at South Carolina. That is the path of the totality. This is a great map, by the way. I love this.
We like it.
And it goes on. So if you're outside that totality, and as you just said, Chattanooga, Franklin, places like that, you will not be in the path of the totality, which means you can still observe the eclipse occurring. It'll never get total, which means you will not have a point where you can take off the glasses and safely look.
Right. It'll look like the moon's either a little bit too low or a little bit too high in the sky, depending on where you are relative to that path.
But even places as far away as Augusta, Maine, will have 50% of the sunlight in that afternoon be reduced. Yeah. So they'll notice something even up there, but they won't even be close to the totality, and they may just think it's an overcast day.
But again, if they're near some trees, and I know Maine's got some beautiful forests there, so they'd still see those crescents. They'd just be a little bit chunkier crescents since the moon's a little lower. So I sent some glasses to my relatives up in Maine last week. So
very cool. So wherever you are in the country, looking up at the sun during that period, you want to protect your eyes.
Absolutely.
Derrick, you're awesome. I love your enthusiasm, and I can tell you're going to have a lot of energy all the way through Monday.
We're excited. It's a marathon at the Science Center, but Saturday, Sunday, and Monday we got a big party
Saturday,
coming.
Sunday, Monday. Get your glasses there, volunteer there. Adventure Science Center is a great place. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take a break. Be back to wrap things up right after this.
It's